Chef Rob from the Kitchen to Market and Chef in Your Kitchen, in my kitchen. So today's recipe I wanted to share with you is a fun one to make. Well, you know me, I always say fun to make. It is one it's easy. It's the one pot sort of cooking that, and it's a great, I think it'll be a great family favorite now, okay? So this is my grilled chicken fajita balls. All right, so let's get started up here. So to start, so in this recipe, again, all the recipes are in under the description section there. Just drop down, you see all the recipes there. In Facebook there on kitchen.ca site now, okay? So here we go. So we're gonna start off with just a little oil in the pan. Make sure the pan you're using can hold all the ingredients, right? So as we're gonna put the rice in there and stuff like that. So make sure you got a good sized pan. And a lid for it, okay? So we're gonna let that oil heat up a bit. All right, so here's what we're gonna start off with our peppers and our onions, okay? In the recipe, it's just a real sweet pepper. You can go red, whatever pepper you really like in that. So just go with any type of pepper you like. And I tell you, this is, like I said, a great time of the year. This is really a market recipe. You know, walk through the stalls at the Kitchen and Market and you're gonna find all these beautiful ingredients in that, okay? So what I got some nice chopped up some red pepper, or sorry, some yellow and orange peppers. So we're gonna throw them in the pan. We're gonna add our onions. It's a nice sweet onion is what I'm working with on this recipe. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna saute this up just a bit. So we're just going to saute that up a bit. Let's turn this up a bit. And all we're trying to do with this one is just sort of kind of just cook it a bit, 4 to 5 minutes, get it to that real nice sort of texture you like, and a really nice flavor, okay? So let's get this off. I don't know about you guys, but man, I love the smell of onions cooking. Oh, it's delicious. One thing with this recipe is it is a great recipe that you can really play around with. One is, if you want a vegetarian version of this, leave the meat out of it. If you want a different meat, for example, maybe you want pork or instead of chicken, or maybe beef or whatever, add it all in, okay? So whatever way you would like it. It's a great versatile recipe. Okay, so there we go. Get those sauteed up a bit, okay? Then we're gonna add our jalapeno peppers. Now, a couple quick things with jalapenos. One is, the seeds are what really makes it hot, okay? And again, watch when you're cutting these up. Please don't put your face by your eyes in that. Just cut them up, seed them out. I just sliced them up a bit. And again, this one is, if you're not into the spiciness or hot, leave it out, okay? All right, so we're gonna throw them in there. Gonna add them in there. And we're just gonna really just sort of saute that up. Just gonna add a little more oil to it. Again, I'm using olive oil. If you prefer, you can use a veg oil, a canola oil, or whatever, okay? And again, I'm just sort of kind of really just sauteing them up. So let them saute up. All right, so let's talk about the fajita mix I put together. And again, it's in the recipes, okay? This is my fajita mix I like. Now, again, if you don't want to make your own fajita mix, you can buy it in a local store now. You can buy them in the packs, I think. Anyways, in the Mexican section where all the tacos and all that, you can find that. I kind of like making them, and so it's a real simple recipe. Ingredients are easy to get. You know, a little kosher salt, smoked paprika, ground cumin, garlic, onion powder, cornstarch, chili powder. And it's really, and then minced onions and that. it's really an easy one that you can get. Ingredients are easy to find and stuff like that. So I'm just gonna mix this up. And again, this is a great one if you want to make a larger batch of it. If you want to make a larger batch of it, you can, and store it just in a jar and stuff like that. Okay. So we're gonna add it now. Our garlic is gonna go in there. And again, remember what we talked about garlic. Garlic is at the end, and all we're doing, we're just looking for that real, once you can smell that garlic, okay? All right, so we got our garlic in now. Doing good. We're gonna add a rice. And really all we're trying to do is just brown up the rice a bit. Just, you know, again, minutes. Just a little minute with it. Just to sort of brown it up a bit. Put a little coating on it. All right, so there. All in. So, next one, we're gonna throw in our chicken broth, right? So we're just gonna slowly put that chicken broth in. And with this one is what you need to do when you're doing this one is as you put your chicken broth in, just turn up your stove, right? Because what we want to try to now is get it to from just sort of this low sort of medium temp into a hot and starting to boil. Okay. All right. So got our chicken broth. We got our sort of peppers in here. Then we're gonna add our beautiful fajita mix. So 2 tablespoons of this. I'm just putting that in. Just gonna give that a little mix in there. Beautiful. Oh, smells delish. All right, so we're just gonna let that get up to boiling. Couple quick things, you know, like again on the fajita mix, one of the things you're gonna notice in there is cornstarch, right? So that's one tries to give it that almost that little bit of a thicker sort of gravy sort of texture to this. Again, the spices, I'm a smoked paprika guy in my fajita mix. If you're not really into smoked paprika, go regular paprika and stuff like that. And again, listen, you can buy it in the store if you don't want to make them now, okay? But again, it stores really well if you want to make a big batch of it, okay? So we're just gonna let that take a couple seconds to boil up. One of the things in this recipe, if you notice, I don't season as it go along. You get a lot of season from the fajita mix. I kind of, you know, generally I'll wait till the end and maybe add a little salt and stuff like that, okay? All right, this is just starting to boil up. And all we're trying to do is just get it boiling up, get it down to that nice simmer, put the lid on, and let that rice really absorb all the liquid in that, okay? So, while this is doing, let's talk a bit about on the Kitchener.ca site. Lots of stuff coming up in October. Oh, wow, man, we have Kids in the Kitchen again with Chef Nicole. We've got pumpkin carving we're gonna do. We got Thanksgiving. We're gonna do a little Q&A on turkeys with Chef Nicole and myself. We're gonna talk a bit about turkeys, talk a bit about recipes, maybe give you some ideas to help you make that beautiful, successful turkey dinner now, okay? And then lots of other stuff. So, just get on there. There's tons of stuff on there where lots of recipes we're talking about and lots of stuff on it. All right, okay. So, got a good boil going here right now. I'm just gonna put that lid on and I'm just gonna turn it down just to about medium heat. And I'm gonna let that have a little time to cook, okay? All right, so prior to this, so what I've done is I've just grabbed some chicken breast. You know, you can have chicken breast, you could have, or chicken thighs, either, just boneless, skinless chicken, barbecue it. And one of the things I do, or did, when my guys were young and that, and I know the busy schedule, parents are out there with their little ones and trying to juggle all the school, the jobs and everything. One of the things I always loved doing was, I would, if on a weekend, if I was barbecuing, like say, you know, doing up a steak dinner or whatever on the barbecue or whatever, I would always grab a couple pieces of chicken and I would throw it on the barbecue, cook it ahead, chill it, cool it down, put it in the fridge, and then keep it for a meal like this during the week. So that was sort of trying to stay ahead of the game in that, right? So that was one way of sort of speeding it up in that, okay? So while that's cooking up, let's talk a bit about how we can take this dish and present it. Couple different ways is you could just like in a bowl. I just took a soft tortilla shell, shoved it in the bowl. You could do it that. You could do it without. Maybe you want to put a little more rice in there, or just in the bowl by itself. That's one way of doing it. The other way we're going to do it is as simple as just on a beautiful leaf, romaine leaf lettuce, right? So just on a nice bit of lettuce in that. Nice way to put it, healthy and stuff like that. And again, what I said earlier, this is a fantastic recipe for if you're like myself, have a bunch of vegetarian friends and that. It's a great recipe that you can pull that meat out, and it's a great vegetarian dish, okay? So let's have a little boo here. Let's just give this a little stir. Oh, that's coming along nice. There we go. All right, so a couple different ways of, doing up this meal. And again, it's a simple one. It's a one-pot meal, easy one to cook up and out, okay? A couple other things that I sort of put together for it is, I like some things to add to it, like options and that, right? So one of the things with this one, you can, put some, beautiful tomatoes. Great time of the year for tomatoes. Maybe a little shredded cheese, nice sharp cheese. I like putting a little cilantro on mine too. But the other one I like guacamole. I love a good avocado and stuff like that. One of the things, real simple, if you're doing your guacamole, one of the things I love doing is taking my guacamole and put it in a food processor and just whip it up, right? And then you get that real smooth texture to that guacamole. And those are great ones to sort of, you can add to and really dress this dish up in that, okay? All right. Oh, this is looking just absolutely amazing. Just cooking up nicely. All right, so we're just getting that, just a couple more minutes, get that all cooked up. We have our chicken we're gonna add to that dish. And you gotta have black beans. You gotta have the black beans, right? So we're gonna add that black beans to it. Again, just rinse, drain, and rinse your beans and stuff like that, okay? So it's real simple, not much to it. And this is, this is an absolutely wonderful meal. You can do well in advance, put it in a container, you can freeze it, bring it out, and ready to serve. So it's one of those ones you could, up the recipe. For me, this one that I'm doing tonight is just for 4 servings, but you can just easily up it and really, freeze a couple meals, okay? And then, hey, just change up how you're serving it, right? One day have it on the leaf, on the romaine list, next day put it in a bowl. Okay, so just play around with it. Oh, there we go. Oh, that looks excellent. And all we're doing is we just want that rice to really absorb all that liquid in that, okay? And again, just stir it every once in a while just so your rice doesn't stick to the bottom of that, okay? All right, I think we're ready to add our chicken. Oh, that's good. All right. All right, so we got our mixture all cooked up here. We're gonna add our nice beans to it. Add that. Oh. And we'll add our nice grilled chicken to it. I'm just gonna mix that all nicely in there. And again, it's just sweet peppers. Pick any. You can have red peppers. Whatever you find when you're out at the market. All right. Oh, that looks beautiful. All right. Okay. So here we go. Let's put a couple plates of this together. Oh, that'll look delicious. There we go. So, in a nice little soft bowl, let's do one on the romaine. So there we go. We got one on remain. So here we go. Let's have some fun with this. So we can add a little cheese to it. Let's add a little sour cream to it. Let's add a little guac to it. Maybe a little tomatoes. And let's finish with a little cilantro. Oh, does that ever look good? And there we go. Grilled chicken fajita bowls. All right, thanks for joining me. Remember, Kitchener.ca/vendor has all the vendors that are going to be on the market on Saturday. Market is open from 7 to 2. Upstairs is open also, and there is some seating in upstairs now. Yeah, and enjoy your evening. Thank you for joining me. Have yourself a safe day, and thanks for joining. Bye for now.